Literally.
In the
And
house.
it's not no like brother, like, you know, it's like actually like my sisters. So
Yeah, like this our blood. Same last
blood,
name.
yeah.
Like triplets, duh.
Yeah.
We miss you. We cannot wait to come over there. Like,
I know, I miss you guys too. And you guys would have been here right now, so that's what's up.
But flights are open, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to. People are funny already. Someone's like, "Who is this guy?" Yeah. So we're gonna just dive right into it. And oh, it's Darcy. Darcy, this is my brother. He's a producer. He lives in LA. It's my brother, blood brother, not a random guy.
Who's that?
That's a guy that I know. He's asking who you are.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So Becca's gonna basically lead the conversation. She wants to discuss. I want to talk about how powerful music is, and you know how the mood it creates, the lifestyle it influences, culturally, morally, like subconsciously, how music has influenced pretty much everybody.
Right.
It's
like hip hop music.
Even if it's not hip hop, soul. You know, blues, hype music when you're getting ready for the gym, like heavy metal when you're in that type of crazy, you know, like obviously everyone has their favorite genres, right? And the type of music they like to listen to and to set certain tones. What about when it's, you know, romantic or, you know, R&B, soul music? Like we name it baby
as you can see right now, you know what I mean? Especially like the climate of society. Like people want to hear something uplifting, people want to hear something powerful, something that has a message
positive
in it, something positive. And you know what I'm saying, I don't know if you guys heard the new Lil Baby song.
We were just playing
that. Yeah, you guys are just playing that. So that's perfect for the times, because
and that's what that's how we're right now feeling. We basically pick our song like depending on the mood we're feeling. So last 2 weeks ago it was Changes by Tupac. And I heard that that's like #1 and Bob Marley's song right now.
Yeah.
Music also has to do with the time, the environment, like how you said.
Tupac was way ahead of his time, for one. But he comes directly from that lineage as well. Like he's a descendant of Black Panthers, you know what I'm saying? His mother like represented herself in the Supreme Court and won. She beat the system, you know what I'm saying? So that just goes to show you, you know what I mean, how powerful his lineage is. And it's crazy that like he was only 25 when he died, and he had such a powerful and such a, you know, a strong aura that in the physical plane, like in the physical reality, because we're dealing with multiple levels here, spiritual, all that stuff. But on the in the physical, he seemed way older than he really was. Like his appearance was, you know what I mean? So music is a very powerful tool, you know what I mean? Even when, you know, you have these tragedies and these school shootings and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You have these kids that claim that they listened to a certain artist before they went and actually committed the crime that they committed. You know what I mean? And there's
which
people
shows like, the impact that the music holds, the power.
Exactly. Music is such a psychological force, you know what I mean? Because just even look at our culture right now, you know what I mean? And like why brands, you know, have invested so much into artists and hip hop right now. That's such a, you know what I mean, such a overwhelmingly powerful influence on the world, you know what I mean, that has an overwhelmingly powerful influence on the world right now. Like they try to get these artists to push their brands in their music because they understand the psychology, you know what I mean,
and how
like,
much influence they actually hold, right?
Exactly.
In society, how
like
many people follow
A Boogie,
them.
we were just talking about how much A Boogie raps about Amiris yesterday, and like literally all of New York now only wears Amiri. So
what is that? Sorry.
Amiri is like this denim,
the brand.
denim, and it's like a brand, but they love the jeans in New York. You know what I mean? So that's their movement right now. But that just goes to show you, you know what I mean?
Yes. And that's kind of what I was, you know, talking about, like how even through, you know, how artists use music as an outlet to express themselves, you know, things they're feeling, things they're going through, and that it's usually relatable, right?
Oh my God, is that my nephew?
He was crying, we had to get him.
Oh my goodness, Micah.
Micah, say hi, Uncle RJ.
He's so alert too, like he knows what's going on.
Look at him getting so big.
Oh my goodness, he looks like a sister.
Who does he looks like? Maya?
Maya, yeah.
Okay, you don't think Josiah?
No, I don't see Josiah. I see more of his father's
Side.
DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I see Rachel too for sure, but I feel like the
He has
face
Michael's
goes
head
down.
shape. Look at the head.
But he looks like, but Art, look right now. He looks like Rachel. Look
Yeah.
at the eyes, bright,
Yeah.
alert. That's
Yeah.
Rachel.
That's true.
You know, I just wanted to touch on what you guys were saying right now before I lose my train of thought. But
Yeah.
also like, you know how there's artists, like I kind of want to touch on Black artists, especially given right now what everything is going on with the Black community, but more so of we are pushed to like buy jewelry and nice designer clothes and stuff, but not about, you know, generational wealth like insurance and, you know, life insurance or investing in real estate, or, you know, it's like
Who's that?
Like it's mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Say hi, Mom. Come say hi.
She's tuned in right now.
Yeah, but I definitely think it's important that even with the message,
This is what this whole thing is coming about anyways, is that there is messages that are received in music. There's power in music. There's a serious influence, and especially think about, okay, sorry, I have to say this, what we were singing back in the day with sexual content we didn't even know. Right?
Like all these pop songs. If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friend. Like, what the hell does that even mean?
Oh my God.
Hit me, baby,
one
more time.
One more time. Oh, wait, we said the same time.
Exactly.
Because this is exactly what it does. It gets you thinking. It gets you really understanding that it gets you understanding that this tool can be used
in a more positive, on a positive level, and it because music is reaching such huge platforms, right? I mean, who doesn't listen to music? Our 4-year-olds, our 2-year-olds, you know, like
the babies play for the babies to go to sleep.
I know.
Twinkle twinkle little star. You think they forget those melodies, those tunes?
No, they don't. They don't. But even like, you know, that's like, music is a powerful tool in learning. You know what I mean?
I
learn a lot from the artists I listen to. Yeah, exactly.
That too. Okay, even just the rhythm, the beat. If you want to go how you break down, you would know producing, right? RJ, the tunes you hear and what comes when you start thinking about when you hear certain melodies, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. I wish I could sing.
For real.
But we were getting, before you cut, we were getting to. Sorry, we haven't answered.
Let's go through some comments. Yeah.
The artists that are making more positive music and sending this
positivity doesn't sell. That's what Dorian said.
Yes,
that's true. Positivity doesn't really sell like that, you know. But it's all about the climate of the world. Like, if you really pay attention, because when there's a moment, you know what I mean. Like "We Are the World." That was like one of the biggest songs of the time that it came out, and we will never forget that song. So it's like there's these events in the world, you know what I mean, and you know, there's a positive and a negative way to look at things. And, you know, in this particular time, it's difficult to fight hate with love, right? So a lot of the stuff that's coming out right now, it's on more of a, you know, or not even coming out, a lot of the songs that are being played, you know, and that people are going to, you know what I mean, just to kind of stimulate them mentally, you know, are songs that have knowledge and information in them. It's not necessarily about, yo, we all need to love each other, because that's not what we're dealing with right now, you know? And in day-to-day life, we're not dealing with, yo, we all need to love each other. We're actually dealing with the tangible things that are in front of us, you know what I mean? Like, there are children being kidnapped in the hood, you know what I mean? And they're brothers shooting each other for, you know, over what, you know what I mean? Just over
where they live, or
just you know, very, very small scale things. And man, you know, I don't want to put the blame on music or anything like that, because that's basically me doing the job of the oppressor by saying, yo, it's because of the music. But you know what I mean?
But we need to be more intentional with the messages that we are spewing out in our music.
But that's why Tupac to me is so important, and that's why Kendrick Lamar is so important.
Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey is important as well, because, you know, Nipsey was one of the few people that talked it and lived it. You know what I mean? He was actually really building his community.
Helping his community.
Yes. And I think that's where we really need our rap, you know, artists to put their money where their mouth is.
But look, but the scary thing about it is they killed him in his own community as well. You know what I'm saying? His own brother, seeing what he's doing, sees everything that he's doing around him, right? And took his life. you know.
So you don't think it was a conspiracy or none of that?
No, I don't believe in that, because that's not tangible. In reality, we have to start dealing with the tangibles. If we spend all our time focused on conspiracies and trying to crack codes that we can't even, like, okay, so let's just say we did crack the code in this conspiracy or whatever, and all these artists and rappers are Illuminati. What are we gonna do about it? What happens next? And a lot of people don't think about that. So let's stop focusing on the distractions. Let's deal with what's in front of us and focus on the real enemy here. You know what I mean?
Solutions and the things we can actually
exactly. Tangibility is the most important thing to me. I don't want to hear about conspiracies, and I don't want to hear about aliens in outer space, this and that. You know what I mean? I want to talk about exactly how we can address these things tangibly. You know?
Yeah. Like Cudi did a lot of mental health.
Kid Cudi's one of my favorite artists of all time because of how he helped me get through a dark period in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I listened to his music, and he talked about his father not being around, right? And I was suffering in silence about not having my dad around physically. You know what I mean? Yes, I could call him on the phone. He's still alive. But Kid Cudi helped me deal with the loneliness. And I have you guys, I have so many brothers and sisters. I have a multitude of family, but at the same time, I had my own demons, and it was like the only person I could really talk to about certain things would have been my pops. You know what I mean? And he would have been the one to maintain the order. So when I listened to Cudi, I was like, damn, like, I wonder how he feels, like, not really having a dad around and dealing with all his mental health episodes and his issues and, you know, disparity and stuff like that, you know? So he, you know, it's like, I feel like there's artists that literally, you know, and shout out to these artists that pay attention to, you know, social commentary and, you know, just dealing with humanity, you know, that make that their personal mission. You know, shout out to all those artists.
Yeah, for sure. They deserve big ups for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so we have some questions for you. It's kind of to, you know, piggyback off what we're discussing right now. But I think that with Rebecca was going with the whole music industry culture is that, you know, there's a lot of people watching and listening and living that lifestyle that rappers rap about, even though the rappers themselves are not living that lifestyle,
and or the people that are listening
are not, they're not, and or the people that are listening.
They could go both ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're listening to music and, you know, making it get into their mind, but you really aren't living what they're living on food stamps and all these things. You know?
But
and then the rappers that are really not hustling and not doing these things because they're well off, but still rapping about it.
But
you know?
it's for us to know that these rappers are, for example, like you said about Nipsey dying in his own hood. That, you know, to me, the whole point is to get out of the hood, not to be help the hood, yes, help the community, but don't live there because once again, there's still hate, there's still jealousy, there's still envy in your community.
Of course. But there's two sides to that, you know. I mean, with a lot of the issues that we deal with, there's a duality, right? So yes, you know, it's dangerous and it's risky to be somebody of that stature and of that magnitude, and especially on the scale of like, yo, somebody's actually from this impoverished community, right? You can help from a distance and you can love from a distance, but at the same time, the psychological effect of you actually showing up and showing the people like, yo, I'm one of you, is so impactful to the kids in the community that can see exactly that can see and physically and reach out and literally touch, you know, the person that they idolize or you know, look up to or draw inspiration from. So it's you know, it's like, it's really the mentality that you have to break away from. That's really what it is. Because I believe in going back and helping your community and supporting and, you know, investing in your community is something that a lot more people need to talk about. Because you can go show your face and you can give out turkeys on Thanksgiving, but what are you really doing for the community? You know, from a economical standpoint, financial standpoint.
Like we have all these different convenience stores, Asian, you know, Indian, whatever, but no black owned, you know what I'm saying?
No.
They could do something like that, a grocery store.
And that's but that, like, when it comes to infrastructure, and I'm gonna touch briefly on white supremacy, right? Okay. So I don't know if you guys seen a post that I posted about Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. in the 1920s, right?
Yes,
So
yes, of course, of course.
yeah, so in the 1920s, there is this actual movement called the Black Wall Street, where these people were descendants and freed slaves, right? So the descendants of slaves and free slaves that had their own Black Wall Street. So they had their own socio-economical infrastructure, right? And there's this false accusation that a Black man harassed a white woman within the community. And guess what they did?
Burned it down.
They burnt that bitch down. They dropped bombs from planes. They did all kinds of shit to completely uh, cut the head off of that monster and what giant was. You know, and just imagine the trickle down effect that it would have had in the Black community in America, because that would have generated generational wealth for these people.
Of course.
Because exactly, so their descendants and people that, you know, would have been born in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, all the way down, would have had a generational wealth income, like, you know what I mean?
Yes, they would have property, they would have assets,
and then they would have owned all these things. And then if you include inflation, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We would have had Black families, you know, and Black communities that wouldn't have been, you know, a part of that so-called impoverished groups in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would have had
living off the system.
And that was the biggest threat to white supremacy. So that was they would have found same thing with the marijuana industry. Same thing with the marijuana industry. Basically,
all the Black people in jail for a dime in prison.
Yeah, because that's what it was. The whole marijuana industry was dismantled, right? And the hemp industry, because these people wanted to make money off the newspapers and chopping down forests and shit like that, because it was more profitable than actually using hemp. Hemp is a much cheaper way to make clothes and make paper and stuff like that, right? And it wouldn't have been as harmful for the environment. But what they did to dismantle that whole thing was they said that it makes Black men go crazy and want to rape white women. That was literally the propaganda. Like, there's literally still flyers.
First film that was produced.
Yes.
Yeah, there's literally still flyers and posters. Yes, exactly. So it just goes to show you, like, the how they wage mental and psychological warfare on our people and literally dismantle our community from even a molecular standpoint. Even, you know what I mean? Like, so that's how it works, you know. It's sad, but I just wish
people need to know that, though, right? Archie, people need to be educated on our history. For example, right? This was one of the things we were talking about, education system. One thing about in our elementary days, the books that we read, we could recognize anything in that was not familiar to us. Wasn't familiar to us, right?
Yeah.
And so how can you connect with that? How can you strive to be something that doesn't look like you or what you're used to? Yes. Right? And I seen someone in the comments right now say it's hard to get out the ghetto. It's hard to get out the ghetto when the ghetto was made for you, for us. I mean, like, for us, our people. Yes. So yes, you're right. Yeah. So what I wanted to, like, kind of close on about the music industry was more artists need to wake up and preach real things, things, like, and real solutions. You know, talk about investing money, and, you know, when we die, we don't need a GoFundMe. We have life insurance, because that's what everybody has. Like, you know, invest your money. Don't waste it on clothes. And for example, everyone was getting at the CEO of Off-Whites, or the co-executive,
Virgil Abloh,
because he donated $50. I was looking online for a Off-White belt. It was like $234. You're telling me a single little dinky belt is $234, but the owner donated $50. Like, it just goes to show, right? Our dollar's not respected. No, you know what I'm saying? We need to keep it within our community. And I seen that there was you know, talking about building back up Black Wall Street. So, you know, I think people are waking up.
I absolutely, because they can't stop us from acquiring information. You know what I'm saying? The information is out there.
Power.
And there's no way to stop it, because these are independent sources of information. And, you know, I think people just need to do their own independent research. You mentioned something about rappers should preach more, but I think preaching is a dangerous way to approach it, because that automatically, you know, it turns people away from you, because some people don't like to be told what to do, you know. But what you can do is to kind of figure out the proper way to pacify the message, like Lil Baby did. You know what I mean?
Right.
He had a hot beat. You know, he's a young, hot rapper that has a lot of influence in the streets. A lot of following and a lot of influence, and a lot of young kids, you know, that are younger than him look toward him as like, yo, when I get to this is what I want to be. This is how I envision myself. And he wasn't saying like, yo, y'all need to go do this, y'all need to go do that. What he was doing was he was assessing everything that was happening, and he was saying like, yo, I understand everything that's going on, and what we need, what we should do is we should not necessarily all come together, but I think through his song and in his music, the message was already embedded without him really having to say anything. You know, he's showing everybody like, yo, like let's pay attention to what's going on without literally saying it. You feel me? So there's ways to do it and ways to go about it. And the beat could be played in the club. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That song could be played in the club, and they could reel it back 100 times, and it fits right into the format of the tempo and everything that's being played right now. So there's little ways to get it in there. Because J. Cole talks about nothing but positivity in his music, but people call him a snoozer, you know, and I appreciate the brother J. Cole, but you know, people sleep on his music a lot and say it's boring, you know, and sometimes I feed into it as well and make my little jokes, but you know, there's ways to do it, and there's ways to
I think we just have to find the right approach, the most effective approach.
Exactly. There's better ways to deliver the message, you know, without being preachy, because people do not like being preached to, you know. And we have this subconscious and psychological problem with authority deeply embedded in our DNA because of slavery, what we went through.
Exactly.
So
so it's much harder for us, I know. It's true.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get more personal and have, you know, some more in-depth.
You got to ask me anything. It don't even matter.
Rachel has her questions here. That was kind of my little segment. So thank you.
Let me get some water real quick, because I haven't even eaten all day.
Okay. No problem. But you can still talk, Rachel. Just getting water. Yeah, get water.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my first question is, how did COVID-19 or quarantine affect the music industry from your standpoint, like, you know, in terms of your sector and your craft?
Drink that water.
Yeah, I literally like woke up. I only had like 4 hours of sleep. I woke up. I tried to tidy up a little bit, and then I fell back asleep for a few hours, so I didn't get to eat nothing. But no, so it literally cut touring, so there's no touring, you know what I mean? Nobody can go do no shows, and that's a huge revenue stream in the industry, $1 billion revenue stream, you know, all across the board for everyone. So, you know, nobody was able to really make money. It's so funny that there's this like scam going on Instagram where rappers are hiring this agency or something, apparently. And what they're doing is they're DMing all these up and coming rappers with limited opportunity and telling them that like, yo, like fucking like Jadakiss is DMing these artists, these kids, like, yo, I, you know, first of all, they open it up with this false hope thing, like, yo, like, I'm a fan of your shit, bro. Like, keep doing what you're doing. And then the kid responds like, yeah, bro, like, wow, I can't believe it. You're my idol, blah, 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 blah. They screenshot it, posted on their page, and the guy's like, yeah, but like, I'm doing this tape and it's $500 to get on it. You know what I mean? Because that's how, because there's no touring. So these guys can't go do shows and get like, you know, 15, 20K a show. So I don't know. There's this thing going on right now where all these kids are getting.
So the actual rappers are DMing other.
So the agency, so they hired this agency, or the agency probably approached them, you know, with some sort of backdoor deal, you know, like, yo, let me use your Instagram with, you know, the database of users that I have, right? And reach out to all these people and let's see how much we can accrue. And then that's what's been happening. So there's like Jadakiss has like a 45 mixtape series where he puts out like 45 mixtapes, right? And each of them, for each song, each entry is $500. So you do the math, right? So if there's 45 mixtapes and let's say there's 10 songs on each mixtape, right?
Wow.
$500 a pop. Think about how much money they just made.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I can't do the mental math right now, but that's a lot of money.
So. Yeah, of course. Someone's saying Joe Budden talked about that. I have
at least their page apparently.
They leased their page, so that's real. So that right there is how, you know, one of the ways that it affected the music industry. I have an artist myself that I work with. His name is Giveon. And
Giveon, right now, he's so good.
Amazing. Yeah, shout out my brother.
Everyone check out Giveon. That's my brother's artist. Not so fast.
Yeah, so fast. Shout out Isla. You know, they're in the building too.
Big ups.
Yeah. So with that being said, you know, this would have been a huge breakout year for Giveon.
Oh yeah.
And you know, that kind of, you know, not necessarily killed his momentum, but it slowed him down a little bit because he's not able to go out and perform his songs to his fans, you know what I mean, and actually feel the energy. And that's huge, you know. That's how you also acquire new fans, when they see you live, and you that's
true.
That's how you build your core. Yeah, that's how you build your core. That's how you build your diehards and these people that go out and support you. And then, you know, we could have been selling merch. We could have been doing all kinds of stuff. We, you know, so, and then we could have used that momentum, and then that would have got us onto these festivals and all sorts of stuff. But so it's been going well so far. He still gets millions of views and millions of streams a month, and it's looking really good. But you know, if you're a brand new artist, this was a terrible year to kind of surface. You know, but on the flip side, it's good because a lot of people spend time at home, right, and you know, listen to music and consume music for real. But also, you know, it also a way people enjoy consuming music is on the way to work as well. You know what I mean?
True. So when you don't have that commute anymore, that, you know, time to really take it in. It's like, okay. But you know, there's other, obviously, like you said, there's still the flip side.
People are still spending a lot of time at home.
So of course, but at the same time, like, you guys are mothers, so you guys don't have the time to sit around and sift through and, you know, actually like have the pleasure and the freedom to have artist discovery and find a new artist that you've never heard of before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, our next question. Have you experienced any bias or discrimination in your music career, specifically based on being a Black man?
It's a controversial answer, but I believe it's true, and there's many people that can attest to it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love the fact that hip hop is so welcoming and so open to and diverse to different sexualities now, you know, in this time, and different races, and we've made so-called guests of our culture feel welcome. You know what I mean? Kick their feet up damn near, you know. But like a prime example of discrimination, I feel, is on the other side of the coin, right? So we have pop music and we have country music that are dominated by white people, right? Even though pop music just means popular music, so essentially hip hop is the most pop music. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is literally the most influential movement in the world, so that should be considered pop music. But I guess, you know, they kind of wanted to etch out this space for themselves and protect it and put this big white wall up, right, around it. So they don't just allow people to fluctuate, you know, freely. We let Miley Cyrus have a moment in our music, and then she denounced us. You feel me? When she was done with it.
Yeah.
You know, so literally her father, right, was on one of the biggest country songs of all time, right, last year with Lil Nas X.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's her dad? Yeah. Billy Cyrus. I didn't even take that in.
Billy Ray Cyrus is her father. So, so this Lil Nas X kid now has this song. It becomes the biggest country song of all time, basically, because if you look at the overall charts, it's like the top selling song of all time or top stream song of all time, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, when it came time to start winning these awards and be acknowledged, first of all, they didn't want to count it. They didn't want to count it as a country in the first place, right? So what he did was he trolled the country music scene and got Billy Ray Cyrus, and then he's like, all right, what are you guys going to tell me now? There's a legend on my song. You know what they did? They omitted Lil Nas X's image from a billboard in Nashville. And Nashville's the mecca of country music, right? So you know how, you know, Atlanta's like considered the Black Hollywood. You know how regionally they just have their little thing that they make something. So Nashville is the mecca and the home of country music. So if you want to get involved in country music, or if you're in the country music scene, you have to go through Nashville. Nashville is the checkpoint, the hub. That's the home. So what they did was they took Lil Nas X's image off of the billboard and only put up Billy Ray Cyrus's face. And said, congratulations, Billy Ray Cyrus, on your #1. And then they put Lil Nas X in. You can literally Google it right now.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So that's literally a deliberate, right? Defacing of a Black person within that scene. So that just goes to show you, like, I can't go make a country music album right now and go be accepted, but a country music artist right now can say, yo, they want to make an urban album, and guess what they do? They go hit up all the producers like me, right? Songwriters like Jazzy or Nisha or whoever, or Taylor Parks, right? And then they're like, oh yeah, you know, they make it seem like it's such a welcoming thing, and yeah, come to Nashville. You know, they have the freaking 9 a.m. sessions, you know, early in the morning, and they're like, yeah, like we just want your 808s, you know what I mean? We just want your quirky little melodies and flows, and you know, when it's all said and done, you don't even really get the credit.
No recognition.
You don't get the recognition. They don't celebrate you. They celebrate the artist. They celebrate all the white faces involved, right? And same thing with pop music. Khalid is not an R&B artist, but they keep nominating him in R&B categories. He's a pop star, right? Same with The Weeknd. The Weeknd is not necessarily an R&B artist, and he doesn't even, like, listen to the last album. There's not even really like any R&B, quote unquote, but they consider him R&B because of the color of his skin, and they put him in that box,
in that category.
Automatically. You know what I'm saying? And someone like Trippie Redd or Lil Uzi, those guys grew up on rock and roll. If you listen to their melodies, it's all rock melodies.
Yeah.
But if they deliberately went out there and made a rock album, I guarantee you it's still going to be put in the rap categories.
Tashana said, yeah, that's why K. Michelle fell off too. She wanted to do country music and the industry wasn't accepting of it.
Because
country music is white. They protect their spaces.
They want that white face on country music.
They protect they don't want that shit. They don't want people to come muddy up their clean white slate. So that's just how it is, you know? But we don't protect our space the way we should. And literally at the end of the day, who is at the helm of the infrastructure is a white man anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
So all the higher ups at the top of the pyramid and the top of the totem pole, they're white people. And they
know too what they, because I'm not sure if this is true, but don't the record labels have a say on the type of music that the artists put out?
Yes, they do have creative control, and they definitely do and have censored our people before, you know, by saying that our message is too radical, because like I said, they fear a dominant Black society.
Of course.
Because they know, like, yo, we are superior in IQ and intelligence, but they try to dumb us down by telling us, like, yo, they come up with these fake numbers and statistics about IQ levels in certain neighborhoods, and it's always Black neighborhoods that they talk about. And you know, they talk about the crime rate and the shootings and Black on Black crime, and they do all these things to detract from, you know, the black people that are actually advancing our community. You know what I'm saying? They don't ever really talk about them or mention them by name at all. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And then they only prop you up and support you in the media when you coincide with their agenda. So if you're a leftist, right? If you're a leftist rapper, or you know, someone that's pushing a democratic agenda, then yes, they'll celebrate you, and yes, they'll talk about you.
Yeah.
You know, and be like, yo, this and that person is doing great things in the black community, et cetera, et cetera. So that's another example. And then you have EDM. You know what I mean? These EDM DJs make way more than these black producers, and half the time what they're doing is they're remixing our hit songs and making more money off of our songs than we ever made. You know what I'm saying? You got these guys that are making 40, 50 M's a year, right? Why can't I make 40, 50 M's a year? You know what I mean? I have more hit songs than some of these guys that are doing those numbers, right? But we don't get the opportunity. They don't give us the platform. These promoters as well, what they're doing is they're also protecting white spaces as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That just goes to show you, man. They're giving these white DJs 300, 400, 500K a show, sometimes even up in the millions, and giving them residencies. And there's no black DJs that are getting these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? There's no black producers that are getting these opportunities. They protect these spaces, and we don't get the looks. We don't get the access. The access is so important, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be literally some new white producer kid that or DJ that they're like, this is the next thing, and they all decide like, yo, this is what we're gonna support, right? And that kid can be like, hey, I want to get Ariana Grande on this song, and guess what happens?
Yeah,
they get Ariana Grande on the song, right? And it's this big white thing. You feel me? And me, I could have way more accolades in this, you know, this hypothetical white producer kid or EDM DJ, whatever. And I can hit them up and be like, hey, I have this great concept. I want to get Selena Gomez, and I want to get all these people on the song. Doubt that they'll even answer my call.
Yeah,
you know? They'll just be like, oh, it's not the right time right now, or whatever. Let's just say I even worked my way up to that point. Do you think they're going to actually let me do that? You know, it's only a rare handful of guys that can do that in our industry right now. And those are the Pharrells and the, you know, maybe Kanye can do that, or whoever else is at the pinnacle that they cannot deny. You can't deny these guys, but you can deny guys like me, you know? But then you can also build up a guy that has done less than me and advance him forward. And then he becomes the biggest thing in this space, this particular space. And then he can go on and do 100K, 200K a show. They only let in a few, a few quote unquote niggas in this shit. Period. They don't
want too many of our faces.
No.
They don't.
You know, so as long as we're not a masculine, threatening idea or concept, then we're cool. You know what I mean? They'll let us run the show. But if we are alpha and we're black, they're not gonna let us run the show.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Okay. My next question for you is, what direction do you see the music culture?
Shout out Boy Wonder. He's in here trying to troll me.
I don't see him. He's
right there. He just came in.
Oh, okay.
Boy,
Shout out Wonder, this big idiot. Wonder's a big idiot.
Wanda, you haven't got moss in a very long time.
I know, Mama's
moss. Hello.
He's over there eating bear soursop.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Very good. Soursop's good for you. Trolling. You guys are funny. Okay, next question.
Okay, our next question is, what direction do you see the music culture / industry moving in, or what direction would you like to see it move in?
I love what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there's economically right now in the music industry, there's a lot of money being spread around. You know what I mean? So you can come in and make some money, but I feel like financial literacy should also be taught. There also needs to be a union within the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Where we have these policies set up to protect us, you know, because we have, you know, like in any league, right? We have the NBA, right? For example, and in the NBA, you have the NBPA, right? So it's the Players Association, where they all sit around and they discuss, you know, on the board, like, yo, some of these strategies and ideas that they want to implement to protect them and make the league a better place for them. So us as artists and producers, you know, there needs to be an initiative and a coalition, right? And I feel like this has been discussed, you know, multiple times, and there's been steps in the right direction, but it's such a difficult thing to put into black and white, because music is a huge gray area, you know what I mean, and space where there's nothing really definitive. Like, it's not like we're you know, there's this huge what can I say, like like a like a
What does
league.
Punjit say? No, wait, Miss Shanti said, can we block Punjit? What is Punjit? They've just been ignoring because I can't even see properly.
Shout out Punjit, man. I see you, bro. I see you. It's all love.
Easy, okay? All right.
It's all love, brother. You know what I mean? Shout out to Punjit, man. You going crazy. But anyway, back to what I was saying. There's not a particular league or anything where we can keep track of everybody entering and that's involved underneath the umbrella, right? Because people are making music in their cribs, you know, from everywhere. So it's kind of difficult to actually, you know, consolidate and make everything confined, you know? So it's hard to keep track of all the movement going on, but there definitely needs to be something that protects us. I feel like as artists and as producers, we need to have life insurance, because when we get booked on tours and stuff like that, there needs to be a policy involved. You know what I'm saying? Let's say we go, you know, and something happens to us, or, you know, let's say we're performing on your stage and the stage collapses. Like, how do we, you know, how are we compensated for that? Or, you know what I mean? How are we compensated for racial discrimination? You know, that should be something that's, you know, that we can actually combat. You know, that's defined. You feel me? So.
Okay. I'm not reading the comments anymore. I'm getting out of hand.
You can just block some of these idiots.
I don't know how to do it while I'm on the live though, so because I opened the page. Your page is open too, right, or no?
My page is open, yeah. What up, Dre? Dre was on tour with us. He was playing keys with Giveon, you know, every show. I see you, bro.
Big up who you big up, because, you know, impressed your
big up Caesar. I see Caesar in here. I see Scrapple. Big up Scrapple. More like Scrapple.
Big up Macho.
Big up Missy. Big up Youngin.
Hi, Mel. Big up everyone. Thank you guys all for tuning in.
Big up Mom.
So we're taking some time.
Big up Boss Billy.
Big up Accent. I see you. Okay.
Okay, our next question is, where do you see yourself / musical career in 5 to 10 years? Do you plan on singing? Because everybody wants to know. Okay.
Big up Marceline. We could never forget you, Auntie.
Yes, big up Marceline. Yes.
Big up Shanice. Big up Alicia. Okay.
Yeah, big up people
so yeah, we need to know. Are we gonna be hearing some vocalization from you, sir?
What kind of
horrible?
That? What the hell? Rich is so dumb. This guy comes in here and says, "Big up orchestra."
Wait, who said that?
Rich.
Oh, Richie.
Yeah, big up orchestra. He's not in here though.
That's so funny, man. These guys love Uncle Straw because in the group chat for years, I've known Rich for almost a decade now, and I've been posting Uncle Straw videos in there. So
okay, yeah, I think I remember meeting him too.
Yeah. Me singing per se. Look, so I work with Giveon now, and he just showed me exactly why I knew I was not meant to be a singer. Like, it's hard work, man. It's not easy. Just because you have a voice doesn't mean you're meant for the big stage. And that's what I had to realize, because, you know, if you guys are anything like me, you guys, you know, I'm not necessarily timid, but I'm just like, I'm self-conscious about certain things.
But seriously, your birthday's coming. This was our annual thing. Like, your birthday was an annual thing for us
I
to
know.
get together.
Honestly, and I was thinking to like get us a villa in Jamaica and just
I know.
jam.
The next move though, at whatever point, everyone has to just get on board.
Yeah.
Well needed, it's well overdue. It's been way too long.
I want to go to the yard bad, man. It's really calling my spirit.
I'm crying out for
it's
it.
really been calling. I don't even know what it was. You know what started happening? I just because I've been watching YouTube in my room and just like I don't know who's watching these things on my account, but somebody's watching this guy Mark Weens on my account, and he's like a food junkie traveler guy, and he went to Jamaica and he was eating up all the jerk chicken.
Is he white or is he white and Asian?
He's like half Asian, yeah, white and Asian.
Yeah, we've been watching it.
Yeah, this guy. Hi, who is that? Oh my God, it's RJ. I miss you so much. Oh my goodness. I miss you. I miss you guys so much. Hi, boobies. Where's my oh my goodness, my nieces are so beautiful. Oh my. Okay, yeah, we can continue our conversation.
Yeah.
Just give some time for you guys to get things in order, but yeah, I was I just briefly want to say, in Toronto there's this culture of the Screwface capital or whatever. I don't even know why it's even celebrated and why people acknowledge that. I just don't think that really represents the core of what and who we can be, and then you have these isolated instances in these communities where brothers are beefing with each other, and I just think that's the dumb shit. But I can't speak on all the politics involved because I don't know. I wasn't there for any of it, but I just feel like overall, as far as like not dealing with the specifics of any situation, that we could protect each other, embrace each other, stop trying to protect the space because you feel that you might be inferior to the the artist, the other talented artists that exists within your city and within the whole frame of
we were collabing and uniting. That's all we need as a people unit.
But it's the slave mentality, right, that we have where we feel like I seen the good brother Tariq Nasheed talk about the slave mentality and how
the house nigger.
It's not even that. What it is like, so in plantations sometimes, right, there's slaves that are bought and sold, right, and sometimes these slaves would beg for somebody that's their friend or somebody that they don't want to leave them behind, right? And they'll be like, no, don't take him, he's just a dummy. No, don't take him, he's a fool. Please, just like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's because that's how the slave mentality was developed over time, So it's like we didn't want to see our brother or our sister or someone we loved go in a separate space or go to a different place than us. So we felt like we had to down talk them and undermine them to keep them with us. And in this particular thing that we're involved in or that we're intertwined in, you feel me?
Yeah.
So that's where the crab in the bucket mentality comes from, and it's obviously been distorted throughout the years. And it's like the mentality evolved to different things. So it's like, don't leave me behind in this hellhole while you ascend and climb into success. So that's the same thing. We look at these guys like, yo, this guy's in a better place than me. I don't fucking like that. I want that. I want to take what he has.
The evil eye.
Exactly. But it's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. It's literally now on like on a DNA level. You feel me? So I just feel like there's enough for all of us to eat and all of us to succeed and all of us to share a space, because that makes us look even better. And I feel like we all know that like Atlanta functions like that, that's the prime example. So we should all aspire to be more like Atlanta, that sense, where these artists collab and build each other up. Yes, there is some tribal wars, yes, there is beef in certain places, but on a grand scale, Atlanta is very supportive, and they respect their forefathers, and it's the trickle down effect. You
they
know,
have like the most successful Black people and Black
yes,
families and marriages too.
through
But
generations, through generations. You know, but look what they also do. You know what I mean? I just feel like what we also need to do is, you know, protect the Black family. You know, and I just want to leave it as that. But
to get your ass back.
yeah. But eventually, yes, I'm gonna come back to Toronto and help build community and just offer some new ideas. You know what I mean? Y'all don't gotta listen to me, but you know, just as long as I have a platform, I'm gonna speak truth to power. So, you know, President Jeff, I see you. I love you, brother.
Hi, brother. Big up yourself.
Love that, bro.
Let's just quickly go through the comments just to see you know,
Anyone has questions.
Yeah.
Does anyone have questions? We're open to, you know, it's open discussion type thing. So
I just wanted to touch on when you said about you know, there's enough room for everyone, so like rappers shouldn't be hating, even in the business industry, right? Like we were one of the first CMOS business in Toronto.
Literally
and yeah, and there's been so many after, and at first obviously
we felt like a little bit, you know,
it felt a little bit like, okay, like where did you come from, and
why are you copying us, or like, you know what I'm saying? And then we had to we changed our mentality. We checked ourselves and said, you know what, it's a no, you can have the same sauce, but you can have the recipe, but the sauce never tastes the same. And that was what I told myself, and from then it's like business has been good, and it's your mind too, right?
Hold on, stop. That was your take. All I thought about is there's enough room for everybody.
That was her
there's
take.
Millions of people. We can't feed everybody. So therefore, the more the merrier. As long as everyone.
That just goes to show you that your guys' mission is successful. You guys are on a successful journey right now because you're inspiring other people. Same thing with Missy's Tipsy Treats. I remember this girl was literally taking everything and even blocked her. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, yes, you guys are inspiring other souls and other Black people to start their own business and take your business model because they see that it's a success. Right? Even though they automatically present themselves as competition, but on a deeper level, right? As a community, that's what we want, right?
Exactly. More of us.
That's how we build. So I feel like what they should do is to reach out, and that's the problem with people. They don't want to give respect where it's due, and that's the problem. Because it's ego driven. It's like, that wasn't your concept. I didn't get that from you, even though half the time they do. You know what I mean? But they don't want. They have too much pride. They have too much pride, and that's the problem with Black people. Sometimes is our pride. We'll let our pride and ego be the death of us and be our demise and our downfall. Right? What we need to do sometimes, and I make it my personal mission, and I take accountability every time I'm inspired by somebody. I give them praise. I do not care, and I'm not partial to that. You feel me?
Yes. This guy said nothing's new, everything's been done. Yes,
take from what's been
trends.
done.
Look at even clothes trends, right?
This is I feel like that was $5 back in the day. Now it's like $200 or whatever. Like, you know,
things circle back.
And the Moss trend is picking up over here too. You know what I mean? I see more holistic lifestyle people picking up the Moss trend and actually spreading the information. You know what I'm saying? And Moss, one of the greatest things you can put in your body as far as macronutrients and micronutrients, right? And as far as, you know, trace minerals in our body, right?
We're made up of minerals, but we don't. We have to supplement them because we don't actually produce
we
them.
literally lose our minerals every time, even when we have intercourse. You know what I'm saying? We're losing zinc. We're stripping our melanin. That's how we go gray even. You know what I mean? So we have to put these trace minerals and nutrients back in our body. You know?
Yeah. So we talked about the business. Yeah, we're gonna do another. Our next question is, who would you say is or was your biggest inspiration, past and present?
Caesar Benji is my biggest inspiration, honestly. Stretch, you know. These are Rappa. These are like the first men musically in my life that have shown me, you know, the possibilities and how to actually listen to music and interpret music the right way. You know what I mean? And, you know, as far as our parents go, they built,
break up yourself, Caesar.
They built a sonic haven for us as kids, because we could go downstairs and we can take a 45 and put it on the record player and play music. And we learned that we used to put stools and chairs up at the turntables, climb up there and play our favorite songs. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we grew up. That's the culture in our household. And we had house parties, and our mother was very active in recording us and making sure that it's documented. And she bought a mic, traded in her bicycle to get a mic for us. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifices like that as a mother is you know, it's like it seems small, but it goes such a long way. And look, that's I went down that path for the rest of my life. You know, I picked up that mic once and that was it. You feel me? So with Caesar now, Caesar was my counterpart. He was my contemporary. He was my mirror image, in the sense that, yo, I love the way how this guy approaches things. I love the way how he listens to music. I admire his taste, because he put me onto a lot of different things, like how to write bars, how to make beats, how to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing. People can listen to music all day and listen to it, but but they're not necessarily hearing what's happening, you know, when it's all stripped down. So he taught me how to listen to it that way. And then now Stretch, he was a sonic haven as well, because his room was a musical library to all of us.
Yes,
right?
100%.
And video games as well. You know, I developed a passion for gaming through him, because his room had it all, and Auntie Mona could not get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? She had to take me on as one of her own. So I would go in Stretch's room, and he would have a stack of magazines for one, right? So he had a stack of Vibe, a stack like this, like huge stack of the Source, and a huge stack of Double XL. So he also had a stack of.
We can't hear him.
Okay. Hello?
Okay.
Someone was calling me.
Got you.
So sorry. So a stack of CDs and a stack of tapes. And I would go, right? I would make my own little mixtapes of all my favorite songs, dub off a little cassette tape and of all my favorite songs. And meanwhile I'm doing that, I'm reading through the Double XL, I'm reading through the Source, checking who got 5 mics, who got 1 mic. You know what I'm saying? Reading through all the album reviews. And then he kind of like helped me develop a palette for music. So I was listening to Pac early. So Pac was one of my biggest influences.
I remember that. Yeah. Biggie
and
too.
I had pneumonia.
Jay-Z.
I was in the hospital. I had pneumonia, and I almost died. And Tupac died maybe 2 days or 3 days after my admission into the hospital. I was like a 5-year-old boy, and I seen the news clipping, and that made me like look into him so deeper and like really try to like take in the music. So Pac, he tried to put me on Biggie, but I was so like into Pac and aware of their beef that like I just kind of subconsciously didn't want to like Biggie, but I knew how great he was. And there were some songs that I did appreciate, but I was always like, no, I don't like Biggie. I don't want to hear no Biggie, because I love Pac so much. And I listened to Mobb Deep, and that's how I discovered the producer named Havoc, that like is one of my biggest influences with my sonics today, you know, and how I make my beats and how I approach it. He had that dark, gritty sound, you know what I mean, that cannot be replaced. And then who else? Like Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Method Man and Redman, a bunch of stuff. So yeah, ODB, all these guys. So that's how it begun, you know what I mean? And then along the way, Who else influenced me? Jabi influenced me because he taught me how to use a beat machine. So Jabi was an important part of that journey as well. And then going in the studio and understanding how to use a beat machine, I would always ask questions like, hey, how do you make this? How do you do that? And me and Caesar would just be, me and Caesar were making our own beats. Me and Caesar made Girl on the Block together.
Yes. Yes.
We told the guy what to play. We told him what we want in the beat, you know. And then when I was like 10 or 11, I don't know if you guys remember, I produced Caesar and E's album, the whole M-Fam album.
The whole album?
Wow.
Yeah. I was like 12 years old, 11, 12 years old.
That's crazy.
I think that Matt was actually playing it not too long ago. A couple tracks he did. Matt has all the archives.
Yeah, Matt has a
that was the teenage phase of my life. You know.
Diana Vinci asked, "What's your top 5?" We have some questions. So one question was, top 5 producers.
Top 5 producers.
Yeah.
Boy Wonder, Pharrell, Timbo, Dr. Dre, T-, Havoc from Mobb Deep.
5.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go.
5. So you said Boy Wonder.
I mean, that's not necessarily my top 5.
In order, but that's just the 5 that you'd say. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question was, what does Sevn think about women creatives and the lack of support for them in the industry?
You see, the thing is, I feel like there hasn't been like the culture of women being creatives in the industry, especially like as far as producers, it's such a uncommon thing. But now that a Wonder Girl exists, you know what I mean, I feel like that's a shining example of excellence. So it's like little girls can see that now and be like, yo, like that, I see myself so much in her, that's possible for me, you know what I mean? And then the lack of support of women in the industry as a whole, I just believe that's like, you know, it's a male dominated industry, and sometimes, you know, males and their alpha egos, you know, can kind of like, you know, try to stomp down the female power in the room. And that's I don't know if that's the nature of humanity or how that breaks down, but I feel like female empowerment should be promoted. But also what we should also do while we're doing that is to not try to dismantle masculinity, because that's also a movement within the feminist movement. Well, so I feel like you know, in society, that's the pillar. Those are the 2 pillars, men and women. Like that's the duality, that's the balance. So we shouldn't call for equality and then try to completely, you know, break all that, you know, the masculinity down. I feel like masculinity should be re-educated, because what people are doing as well is, you know, they're applying outdated standards and double standards to modern day society. So I feel like there should just be a re-education, you know, and also a reform. But I don't support when feminist movement attacks men, you know, especially when Black women attack Black men. I don't appreciate that either. I don't support that.
For example, I just want to, this is not about the music industry, but just about Black women attacking Black men. When that Black activist, the 19-year-old, I think she was 19, she went on Twitter, talked about her getting molested by a Black man. And then everybody went crazy, just bashing Black men, like, oh, Black women are the only ones fighting for Black men. Black Lives Matter. Like, all that movement started to now bash Black men. I'm like, why are we doing this right now? This is not making
because that's distracting us from the true enemy. True enemy, the real threat is white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And if you deny white supremacy, you're a racist and you can't talk to me. I don't care. You can unfollow me. I don't fuck with you. I don't like you. Period. You know what I'm saying? So what we should be dismantling and what we should be aggressively attacking is white supremacy. Not embarrassing, because I can go on Twitter right now and I won't see a white man saying white women do this and white women need to do that and vice versa. I don't see white women saying white men do this and white men do that and I can't believe y'all do this and y'all need, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? Because what we're doing right now is we're doing the job of white supremacy and we are destroying the Black family. You know what I'm saying? we're inside of the house feuding with each other. That's like us arguing with each other, like, yo, Rachel, yo, Rebecca, I fucking hate you. You guys are fucking idiots. Meanwhile, there's a fucking militia of white people outside with guns drawn, aimed at our house, and we're in here destroying each other.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. So I just don't believe in that at all, bro. And I don't feel like we should chastise each other publicly like that. How about we have a productive conversation about it instead of calling each other out? That's not, I don't think that's the right approach to things, and that's not how we fix things. You feel me? So we're here literally killing each other while they're outside of our door trying to kick in the door on us and come in and destroy us. And we already did their job for them. You know what I'm saying? We all killed each other inside the crib already. So, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yasmin asked a question. Yasmin said, how do you feel about tenured artists who've been out of the game so long making comebacks?
I feel like it's a beautiful thing. I feel like music is infinite, you know? And it's our digital imprint in you know, in society, you know, and it's here forever. It's never going anywhere. It's not like, you know, hundreds of years, or not even hundreds of years ago, like maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago, where, you know, these artists would be lost in obscurity, you know, and just disappear and fade away. I feel like we're here for a long time, and that's the whole mission with our music, is to outlast our physical lives. You feel me? So I love and appreciate artists making a comeback, and I believe that there's always a space for the return of, you know, our celebrated and our great artists. So I'm all for it, man. And I just feel like we can all update each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish Tupac was still alive, and, you know, who knows where he would have been. But I feel like right now would have been a great time for him to make a comeback.
Yeah, perfect. 1,000%. Yeah, so true. So
and
true.
like we said, you know, how music, it could be, you know, you expressing a certain
mood, emotion,
like a certain point in your life. So whether you made music at 16 or you made music at, you know, 40, obviously 40, you're mature now, more different experiences, you know what I'm saying? So obviously you're going to talk about some different stuff.
Like for example, Jay-Z, he kind of highlighted the concept of Black ownership, and we took that and ran with it. And I love that. I love that we're talking about ownership now and taking back what is ours and owning it. You know, owning our masters, owning our intellectual property. I was going to say that. So important because that's the whole scheme of everything. They can just give us little trinkets. Yo, have this chain, bro. Have this fucking Rolls Royce Cullinan. I know you love that shit. You know what I'm saying? Have all these women. Have these, you know, you can rent whatever mansion you want to rent and live this and portray this lifestyle. But we don't own any of that shit. There's no real value in that at all. You know what I'm saying? So I love that Jay-Z was talking about art and the value of art and the value of ownership. He said he bought Basquiat's, right? You know who Jean Basquiat is?
No.
So he was an artist, like I want to consider him a Black Renaissance artist of the 90s, and I think maybe like the late 80s. I'm not 100% educated on him fully, but I know from a conceptual standpoint what he represented, and so his art reflected the times and kind of like the plight of Black people in our communities, right? And police brutality. So you guys should like go look at some of his paintings, because they are so gnarly and so like, you know, off the wall. He seemed crazy, but when you really interpret the art and the message, it was real shit that he was depicting in his art. You know what I mean? He was representing the police genocide and all sorts of stuff. So Jay-Z now, I think, like, even added more value to his art by talking about his art in his music, right?
Yes.
So by talking about his art in his music and saying like, yo, he went and bought Basquiat paintings, maybe for like a few million or whatever, right? Because they're high valued art, you know, timeless pieces, because Basquiat is no longer alive. How the value increases. So he owns that piece of art, and the value of the art appreciates. no matter what and no matter how long. So he could have bought this Basquiat painting for like, say, like 2 million, right? And he could give that to his children, and one day that piece of art will be $100 million.
Yeah. Can you write his name in the comments, please?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. But yeah. Oh, someone wrote it.
There you go.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. So with that being said, I love the fact that he is introducing some of these ideas that sometimes have been, you know, our leaders have been talking about it. I'm sure Malcolm X spoke about it. I'm sure Pac talked about it. And I'm sure a lot of community leaders have talked about these things. But when you put it in contemporary music, right, then it gets introduced to a whole new audience. And then I feel like Nipsey was one of those people that took that information and retained it and put it in his music as well, right? And it became a reflection of him and all of his invested interests. You know what I mean?
I have my glasses. I'm sorry. I need to put them on. I keep squinting.
Yeah. Are you guys following me? Am I losing you guys?
No, I'm listening, but Maya keeps coming talking to Rachel.
Well, you have to tell him to go read a book.
Mom's here. She's supposed to be occupying. Can you go, please? Okay, our next question. Our next question
is... You hear what I'm saying, though?
Yeah. Of course. They're spitting bare facts. You don't see the people in the comments?
Yo, and the thing is, bro, I want to share this information with people. I don't even talk about any praise or anything like that. I appreciate all the people showing love. I just, you know, I feel like this is how I exchange my wealth. Is information. You know what I'm saying? So.
We're sorry for cutting you off. We're sorry. Keep talking. You guys look at Julian and Nigel because I know. RG, keep talking, please, because they're getting cheesed. Yeah. Where mom dies 24/7. There's no, you know, pausing at that. Okay.
No, they're moms. Nah, I understand. I love it. And I appreciate it.
Did you lose your track or no?
No. I finished basically what I was saying. I was saying like, yo, I was talking about how Jay-Z was talking about ownership and how important that is to us as, you know, as people overall and Black artists. You know what I'm saying? And Black creatives. You know, I feel like that's important.
Everyone in the comments is saying that you should think about starting a podcast. You'd have obviously a lot of, you know, listeners. You're very, very intelligent, RJ. Very knowledgeable.
I love you guys. I appreciate that, man.
You speak so eloquently. Yeah, like you're just really, you're such a light person. So like I don't know. You flow. You're so positive. Like your passion is not like ours that we get hype and crazy. You're just still calm with your passion. Yo,
that's listen. But you need us.
I wonder who I learned that from, because mom is not like that.
I know.
And neither is our father, so I don't know. But you know what it is? I speak from the heart, and like my heart is very open, and you know, I love and I forgive and I want to help. So that's where I'm coming from with everything that I say.
Yeah. See, everyone's reading. Don't let us know. We'll start you up a podcast, no problem. We'll
I want you guys to be a part of it, for real. If I do step in that direction and I have time to do it,
just
on the
think
side,
about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We love you though, RJ. I think
I love you guys too, man.
Our family is very special. We're very special.
We're not even to toot our own horn or anything.
Yes. Like, anyone that knows us, that's been around us, knows that our house was very welcoming and loving and not judging and fun.
Scrappy and Caesar saying I sound exactly like Dad.
Yeah, it's true. Dad talks like
you, or you talk like him. You were around him 24/7 though, right? So you are him, Rupert. You know, you are.
Yeah, that's facts.
He's a very articulate too, very intelligent man. So you should be honored.
Okay. Nigel was saying no questions. My next question is, because we feed off the questions. That's why I like asking questions, right?
Yes, we're family. That's my brother. There's 6 of us.
Those are my little sisters, like blood sisters.
Mommy and daddy, yes.
Same mom, same dad.
What advice would you give to upcoming artists, producers, young entrepreneurs, like, you know, just to your, you know, not brothers and sisters by blood, but just to your people? Like, what advice would you give?
What
More so,
advice?
yeah.
That's a very broad question.
No, more so in the music industry, like,
Oh, in the music industry.
yeah. This is
Okay.
all pertains to music industry.
In the music industry, I can speak from my experience. Not everyone is as fortunate as I was to have support, you know, and be pushed in a musical direction. A lot of people's families push their children into undesired directions that, you know, they don't necessarily speak to them at all, and they kind of feel forced into something to please their family. And you know, I appreciate mom and dad, and I appreciate you guys for being unwavering in support and love, and that had great benefits on my mental, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So mental health is super important. Do not neglect that whatsoever. If you're underage, if you're under 18, listen to your parents and just try to have real conversations with them about your aspirations in music. And, you know, hopefully and eventually they'll support that, and they'll start showing up to, you know, your plays, or, you know, your band practices, or, you know what I mean, your theater shows, or whatever it is that you do. I just feel like I feel like music shouldn't be such a taboo thing in households. I think it should be embraced completely. So, you know, and then also do your research, study and respect, you know, the people that have came before you, because you should consider them to be your ancestors. Right. So you are descendants of these great people that came and laid down the foundation for you to exist, right? And mom is right. Parents need to engage and listen to their children, for real, and stop rejecting their ideas based on, you know, kind of primitive concepts in the family structure. Like, yo, you need to, you know, be programmed and go to school for you know, this 12-step mental institution that school is sometimes, or can to some people. I'm not denouncing school whatsoever, but it's not for everyone. You know, some of us are programmed, so it's not for everyone. If you know, because parents want their children in the workforce, and they want them to be doctors and lawyers, and yeah, that's cool. But we live in a new world where YouTubers are the biggest stars in the world now, and you know, some of the most paid people. So even more paid than actors in Hollywood, and even more paid than people in the music industry. So the wheel is broken right now, and I won't say that it's actually broken. It just turns in a different direction, I guess you can say. You know what I mean? You know, there are new people that are making the world turn, essentially. So, and new ideas that are making the world turn, essentially. So we have to kind of let go of concepts and ideas and things of the past. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's important. Also, yeah, like, do your research, put in your 10,000 hours, you know what I'm saying? And all my young Black creatives, you guys are beautiful. I love you guys. I'm here for you. I'm here to be a voice of reason when you want information and, you know, some advice on things. I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you where I would come from when it comes to, you feel me? I just feel like never neglect your mental health. I probably already said that. And also never quit, never give up. It's a long road, and everybody's journey is different. And just have some etiquette to you as well. You know, please and thank you, and be respectful to, you know, the people that you're in a room with. You know what I'm saying? And always consider that. Always consider that, yo, everybody comes from the same place, you know. And I say that to people in power positions as well. You know, don't shit on the youth. You know what I'm saying? Don't shit on these kids. Don't shit on people that are from a less advantageous position than you are. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much to be said. You know, I could be talking about all the steps all day, but you know, I'll say this: just reach out to me. I'll do my best to answer and you know, be of some advice to you guys.
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
You remember your vocal coach Diana?
Diana Young-Polsky.
Yeah, did I send you the message that a guy that used to sing within that class at 12 years old messaged me, Kyle Machado?
Really?
I think
No.
You don't remember him?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember, like,
yo, you want to know what's crazy?
Yeah.
If I don't look at like class photos, like I forgot about like a lot of people I even went to school with. So
okay.
I have like I don't have much memory of that stuff, but like I definitely remember Diana for sure.
Okay. Static Beat said, what are some wrong things that people try to do coming up in the music industry? I think that's a good question.
It all depends on how you look at it, because there's a different approach to everything.
Yeah.
And some people are more receptive than others. I feel like etiquette is important, right? So you know, there's some people, like one time I guess these kids guessed my email address.
Yeah.
Right? And then they tested it out and
wow.
found that it leads right to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Then they FaceTiming me. So they found out how to FaceTime me, and they're calling me at 5 a.m. from numbers from Toronto and shit like that. So I got scared. I got nervous because I'm not there with you guys, and you guys are my family, right? So I'm thinking, like, yo, what's going on? Like, my heart started racing, and I pick up, and it's just this fucking white kid staring at me, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I'm just a producer, and I just wanted to reach out to you. Like, I just want to know what you think about my music. And I'm like, bro, don't ever do that shit again. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, bro. Like, you crazy? You know what I'm saying? It scared the shit out of me. But I love the fact that, you know what I'm saying, he was willing to just jump off a fucking bridge and reach out to, you know, the producer that he admires and wants his voice to be heard by. You feel me? So I appreciated that, and I had a talk with him, and I was like, yo, all right, bro, love the dedication, but there's a way to go about things, you know? So I flipped some of his samples and sent him back some beats, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he shot his shot, though, and you know what I mean?
That's courageous. That's listen, you know, that's courageous.
Yeah. But you know, there's better ways to do things, you know. You can't just keep hitting up every producer because you're a stranger and being like, hey, can you flip my samples? Hey, can you work on my beats? Can you listen to my beats? Like, and you're emailing all of us. And you want to know what's funny? We all acknowledge you and see you guys that do that stuff. And we talk about it in the studio. And the thing is, the consensus in the room sometimes is like, yo, that kid's annoying. And then that's it for you.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah, that's good advice right there, because it's true. Like, even when just go to any length. Even on your page though, like, you could see like how many people like, please check me out, please like a million times. It's like, okay, man, like, you know.
Yeah, it's cool though. Like I'm not knocking it, because sometimes you might get lucky, you know. And like I said, each and every person has a different way of receiving that, right? For me, I get overwhelmed, so I'm like, I don't like that type of shit that much, you know.
Okay.
So it's just like with me, you have to kind of like I'm the type of person that it takes recommendation for me to sit down and take in something. So if there's someone I trust that tells me, yo, you got to listen to this, then I'm going to listen to it. You feel me? And then sometimes I, you know, the art of discovery, I might discover some things on my own. And, you know, it's just like, wow, like this is really good. You know what I mean? Or sometimes it's just opportunistic, where I just happen to be in the right place at the right time and I hear it, you know? So it's luck. It's luck sometimes too.
100%. What's the flute story?
Oh my goodness. So
because you never heard the flute story.
No, it's a producer joke, and his little brother Mikey, like, he made it a thing in the producer community, and it's fucking hilarious. So so basically, I producers to send me samples to an email, and I opened the email and I went through all the beats, and it was a pack full of samples, and there were 72 samples, and every single sample had a flute melody in it. And it drove me crazy because I was literally just talking to somebody a few days before, like, bro, like flutes are dead. Like that's so 2016 basically. And it's 2019 this happened. So I'm like, oh my God, I literally went through a pack of 72 flute samples. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but all the producers in the comments are crying, laughing. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So then Mikey made it a rule. He said the Sevn Thomas rule in effect. So when people are sending him samples and he makes the Sevn Thomas rule in effect, that means you can't send him no flutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Mikey's a gatekeeper in the producer community now, guys. So you know, you guys gotta honor that.
We don't know who that is. You said
Yeah.
it was
It's Wanda's little brother.
Okay. We don't know that. We never seen him before.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling everybody in the chat.
What's his Instagram so I can check him out?
He's in the comments somewhere. I don't even. What's it? Sample Gateway, I think it is now. It was something different before, but he changed it. It's Sample Gateway, but he took out the vowels. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. People are going off about it.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions? Does anybody have any questions for Sevn Thomas? I think that this was a really good. Yeah, like this was a good conversation.
Look, Mikey, he's a troll. Sample gatekeeper. He just, and then he goes on, and then he goes on.
Not, you know, it's Sample Gateway. Sample Gateway.
Yeah, it is, but he's a troll. He doesn't stop trolling. Yo, he went on Twitter and put his name. So I don't know if you guys use Twitter, but he put Sevn Thomas as his name, and he's trolling people. So people are hitting him and asking him if he's the real Sevn Thomas. And even though I have a verified check mark on my name, people are still asking him if he's the real Sevn Thomas. Like that just goes to show you, man. But yeah, the producer community is hilarious.
Yeah, we don't want to know what your guys' chat are like.
We already see like 3,000 messages, so we know
it's so funny, man.
What's the good VST to make melodies? Please send us so much. Oh Lord, we're gonna post it. Actually, I already posted the first half on my page. If you go to the IGTV, so you can and we have a YouTube channel, guys. We just aren't really.
We're so busy with our business that it's so hard to
follow. Follow. What's your guys' pages? Post it up right.
Post it in the
put it. Pin it. Pin Mama's Moss.
Everyone you need. Okay.
In your life.
Pin Mama's Moss. Go support Mama's Moss. You know what I'm saying? Look. Let me just be square and talk to my fellas real quick. Yo, if you're a nigga out there, and you know, you're talking to all these shorties, fam. You know what I'm saying? Put that Mama's Moss in your life. Trust me, you're going to need it to restore all the nutrients that you might lose, all the trace minerals in your body. When you are sleeping around with women, you know what I'm saying? You need to replace these nutrients and these
when you're working out
back into your body. And also when you're working out. It's one of the most vitamin and mineral rich supplements in the world right now. And superfood, and there's literally it's like a huge uproar right now in the health community. You know what I mean? Right now it's literally taking over. So go support Mama's Moss right the fuck now, or else follow me. Yeah. If you're in Toronto, if you're in the GTA, follow Mama's Moss. Go get yourself some nutrients. You know what I'm saying? We're in quarantine right now, so we're kind of deficient of the vitamins and minerals that we do need. You know what I'm saying? So for your skin, you know, for your blood, for your organs are working twice as hard right now. So go get that shit in your system. I need some as well. I wish there was a way you guys could mail this shit to me.
I know. You know what? We can get
shipping containers and ship to. We can do it.
We're gonna have it just now, 100%. Yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah. So educate yourself on CMOS. first, right? Educate yourself on sea moss first, and support Mama's Moss.
Yes. Yes.
Or educate yourself on sea moss through Mama's Moss. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. One last question. Okay? Angel Eyes asked a question. She said, "How much influence does your island background have in your music and producing?" I already know it.
Come on, man.
Artist. 100%. Though. I am like enamored with Garnet Silk.
Trust me. I'm telling you.
Like, I'm sorry to say, but like, yo, if he was here today, he's like on the level of Tupac in reggae culture for me. Like,
absolutely. Garnet
Silk puts my spirits like.
Yeah.
Nobody. The power of music. Yeah. What I was saying at the beginning, the power of music.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And he was such a pure soul. You know what I mean? He didn't smoke. He didn't drink. He didn't swear. He didn't accept money. He didn't accept any kind of compensation, only for his family. Really, you know what I'm saying? And that was it. And it's just it's one of the saddest stories. And I feel like, you know, either me or somebody needs to make a Netflix documentary.
I think that you should do that.
His story should be highlighted because he is probably like the most underrated reggae artist of all time, and that's only because of his untimely death. But
his career was shortened because of that.
Yes, but he is literally like the Tupac of reggae in the sense of how short-lived his career was, but how impactful he was on music and the psychology and the minds of everyone listening. He literally tried to, like, he almost single-handedly destroyed the slackness in dancehall and made everyone convert to him.
Garnet Silk, Mama's Moss pin.
So he's a huge influence, and his catalog is flawless and has one of the smooth. His name is Garnet Silk, so he had one of the smoothest voices ever, period. And I don't even mean in reggae. I mean ever. So he was one of my hugest influences. And what else?
We pretty much went through all the questions.
Yeah.
It was more so just you know, if anyone in the comments had anything more to say. I think that you covered pretty much, you know, the most major points, and we've been on for 2 hours. So.
We've been on for 2 hours.
It's 10 o'clock, man.
Anytime. And everybody tuned in. We went up to like 50-something viewers at one point. And honestly, man, it's such an honor and a privilege to have this conversation. And just like, you know, we haven't gotten to speak like this in so long, and it's
not everybody got it. Really, this is good though. This is even good for our brotherhood, sisterhood. Like, I think, you know, us connecting, you know, on a deeper
and
level.
I'll be tapping in more often, you know.
You should.
This isn't a one-time thing.
No. And think about the podcast. Think about it, and you know.
That's definitely something I even flirted with the idea of with another friend of mine, Mike Hector, who's like a young producer who's super intelligent and just he's like knowledgeable about music at such a young age, and we always have healthy conversations whenever we're around each other. So that was one of the things I wanted to do, you know, kind of like an educational thing for younger producers. But like yeah, it's something that I, you know, if people want to hear me speak, maybe one day, you know. Yeah. Well, good. I love you.
Love you.
So productive. This was so beautiful, and I'm sure, you know, everybody in the comments, you know, can appreciate it and enjoyed it. So it's all love, man.
Yes. Please have these conversations 1000%. I'm just quickly reading.
Mama's Moss helped me through surgery.
A lot of gems are drawn. Favorite artist to work with. Okay, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Favorite artist to work with?
Yes.
Giveon, 100%. Everybody go. You know, if you're unfamiliar with Giveon, just know that there's a, you know what I'm saying, there's a renaissance in male R&B right now, and he's leading the charge. So go. Go run it up. Go listen to Take Time. Go stream that Take Time EP.
Heartbreak.
Run it up. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we love you, brother.
Love you guys.
We have to see you like
we're planning for the trip. As soon as everyone can say yes, we're out.
Not Tech Time EP, guys. Take Time.
Oh, sorry. What the heck? Who put Tech Time, Rachel?
I did. I thought it was Tech Time.
What the heck would be
Take time. He's not Jamaican. He's from Long Beach.
Okay, take time. Sorry, guys. Take
Yo,
time.
shout out my brother Terry. I see you, brother.
Terry.
Love you, bro.
Love you.
Love you. So